It's Card Sharks. Here's the host of Card Sharks, Bob Eubanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, good morning. Thank you a lot. Appreciate it very much. Thank you. Welcome to our show. This is the game where you can actually win a fortune on the turn of a single card. And before we give our contestants a chance to win all that money, I want you to meet our two lovely dealers on our show. Here they are, Lacey Pemberton and Susanna Williams. Good morning, ladies. We're going to play sudden death right away.
Okay.
Deal the cards for us, please. Susanna will be dealing the red cards to our returning champion, while Lacey will be dealing the blue cards on the lower level to our challenger. And while they're doing that, we'll meet our two contestants, and here they are right now. Hello again.
Hello, Bob.
Boy, Frank, you dressed up today, didn't you?
Yeah, I sure did.
Where are you going after the show?
God knows.
Oh, I see. Well, with $200, you're not going far. You had a little rough
Tell me
luck
about
the other
that.
day. If you weren't watching, Frank went to play the big money cards, and bam,
Quite exciting.
zero. First time that's ever happened, I think,
terrible.
while I've been
And
doing
it would
the show
happen to me,
anyway.
too.
Tell us about Frank.
Okay, I'm originally from Dobbs Ferry, New York. It's in Westchester County. I wait tables at night, and I deliver stripograms during the day.
Now, which of the two would you rather do?
I'd rather strip. It's easier.
It is. I've always felt that, too. Susan, how are you today?
Fine, Bob.
Good. And what do you do?
I am an attorney in Denver, Colorado.
Have you ever represented a stripper?
No, can't say I have just yet.
I see, okay.
Always a first.
You're from a pretty town, I'll tell you that.
Thank you, I think so, too.
Are you married?
No, I'm single.
Are you looking for a husband?
No, not at the moment.
No?
I'm pretty
Okay,
content.
watch that guy looking at you next to you, okay? You got to watch him. All right, you cut the cards, I know you did. When we left off last time, here's what happened. We were ready to play sudden death. The fourth and final question of game number one in this match between the two of you. Someone must win the game on the next play of the cards. Control is very important. And Susanna and Lacey have dealt out the cards, so good luck to you. Remember, this is sudden death. And here's our question. We surveyed 100, this is for you, Susan. We surveyed 100 first graders, and we asked them, is your dad the boss in your family? These are first graders now. How many first graders said, yes, their daddy is the boss?
Very tough question. First graders probably see more of their mother typically than they might of their father. But I think that the father figure is going to kind of come through as prevalent anyway. I think that probably it's going to be a fairly high number, 69.
69 out of 100 first graders said their daddy is the boss. Frank, what do you think? Higher or lower than that?
That's a great number. I would guess that most first graders do think daddy's the boss. I mean,
Okay.
my daddy's the boss where he works, you know?
Sure.
All excited, little kids like that. That's a high number. I'd like to go lower, but I'm going to go higher.
All right. I like a guy that really knows how to make up his mind, Frank. That's great. So you say it's higher?
Yeah.
All right, let's find out. Actual number of first graders who said their dad is the boss is 54, not higher. It was lower. Now, Susan, you win the question. And remember, this is sudden death. So here are your choices. You can play off the 6 or change the 6. Play it out. If you make a mistake, Frank wins the game. Or you can pass it on to Frank, where you'll play off the king. If he goofs, you win the game. What do you want to do?
Frank's my pal. I'm going to pass it over
Pass it to
him.
Frank.
Be
He's
my
got a
guest.
long ways to go. All right, Frank, what do you think?
Susan and I are good friends. Thanks, Susan. It's going to be lower than the king.
Lower than the king. Your card is a 10.
Lower than the 10.
Lower than the 10. It is a jack, and that means that Susan wins game number 1. Strategy works, my dear. Good for you. You win the first game, Susan. You got $100. First player to win 2 games wins the championship, goes on to play for the big, big money. And we will pause for these words, and we'll be right back with more Card Sharks right after this. Don't go away now. So let's start game number 2. And we'll begin with you, Frank. Here's your first question. We surveyed 100 divorced women, and we asked them, did your marriage end because one of you was unfaithful? How many divorced women said yes, their marriage ended because of infidelity?
There are a lot of reasons to divorce. It could be because of infidelity, incompatibility in one way or another. Scott, how many divorces because of that? Yeah.
Capability.
Inability.
Inability, yes.
Inability,
Yeah.
flexibility. Anyway,
Right.
God, there's going to be I'm going to say it's going to be a low number. How many said...
How many divorced women said yes, their marriage ended because of infidelity?
Let's go with a number around 50.
50. All right. Susan, it'll be higher or lower than 50?
I think that number is probably going to be a little bit lower. There are a lot of reasons, as
We
Frank
went through
said.
those. Invalidity. All right,
but
let's
I
find
think
out.
people probably won't want to admit that.
The actual number of divorced women whose marriage ended because one of them was unfaithful is 49, just one lower.
Oh,
You were right,
wow.
Susan. Okay, now, Susan, you win this game and you win the championship. Here we go. Here's your card. It's a 5.
Let's go higher, Bob.
Higher than the 5. It is a 7.
Oh.
Player freeze.
Let's go ahead and go higher.
She's going to go on. Higher than the 7? No. Back to the 5 you go, and that means Frank gets to see the cards. Free shot, Frank. Here it is. It's a 3.
Good card. Higher than the 3.
Higher than the 3. Your card is a jack.
Good. Lower than the jack.
Lower than the jack. I've got a 5.
Higher.
Higher than the 5. Deuce. Back to the jack he goes, and that means he goes right back to that base. Okay. Whew, we're all tied up. No one has any cards showing. Next question for you, Susan. Surveyed 100 New York City policemen, and we asked them, if you caught your son smoking marijuana, would you turn him in? Now, how many New York police or New York City cops would turn their own son in?
Well, I think that New York City probably has an awful lot of problems, and smoking marijuana is probably pretty low on that list. But policemen are pretty tough, and they probably wouldn't want to see their children get off too easily. I think it's going to be medium number, 64.
64. Out of 100 New York City policemen would turn their own son in. What do you think, Frank?
Bob, I do believe that some of them would turn their sons in. However, they're going to be that lesser number, and I'm going to say lower because they're going to be that lesser number. They're going to give them the break because it's their son. They're
You know
going
what
to
I
give
think?
them
I think it's going to be way low because I think a New York City policeman would say, well, I can solve this problem. I'm a policeman. I'll solve it myself.
Yeah,
We'll see.
Yeah, that's
the actual number of policemen who would turn their son in for smoking marijuana is 41. It was lower, but it wasn't much lower. Frank, now you've got the 3. I imagine
Okay,
you're going to
I'm
keep
going to
it.
put a 3 and go higher than the 3.
Sure, we'll make it higher than the 3. Your card's a 2. Where'd you get these cards, Susanna? All right, Susan, you get a free shot playing from the 5.
Oh, let's go higher.
Higher than the 5. It is a 5. You sure it's not your fault? Okay, let's go again. Question number 3 for Frank. Frank, we surveyed 100 married men. We asked them, if you could, would you like to sleep in a different room from your wife? How many married men said that they would like to sleep in a different room?
One of the reasons for being married, among others, are to be able to sleep with somebody. A nice, comfortable, warm body next to you. And that's one of the reasons we get married, among others. So I'm going to say not many are going to want to sleep in a separate room. I wouldn't. I'm going to be quite comfortable in bed with her. So I'm going to say it's going to be a pretty low number, around 37.
37 out of 100 married men said they would. Susan, what do you think about this?
I think that number is going to be even lower, and even if they did want to, I don't think they're going to admit it.
You don't think so?
No.
Well, let's see. The actual number of married men who would like to sleep in a different room from their wife is 11. Yes, it was lower, Susan. Now, Susan, again, you've got the 5. You want to keep it?
Yeah, I'm going to keep those, Bob, and let's go higher.
Higher than the 5? Sure, it's a 9. Now, what do you do?
Let's go lower.
She's going to go on. Lower than the 9, your card's a queen. Thought sure she'd freeze on that 9. Frank?
I'm going to play the 3. I'm going to go higher than the 3.
Got to play it. Didn't win the high-low. Higher than the 3. It's a 4.
Higher than the 4.
Higher than the 4. Your card's a 4. And again, no one wins on this one. So we go to our final question in this game. It's sudden death time again. Someone must win the game on this play of the cards. In control of the board is what you really want here. This is for you, Susan. We surveyed 100 bachelors, and we asked them, have you ever asked a girl for her phone number, but when you called, found out it was phony? How many bachelors said that has happened to them?
I think that's going to be a pretty high number, but I don't think that they're going to admit it again. I probably medium to low range. Let's say 39.
39 out of 100 bachelors. Frank, what do you think?
It's funny. I've gotten those phone numbers, and I've dialed
Called up their phone.
I'm sorry, the number you have reached is out of order, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say it's a little higher than that.
You think it'll be higher than
Yes.
the 39? The actual number of bachelors who have given a phony telephone number is 29. Wasn't higher, it was lower. Now remember, back to sudden death. Susan, you know what your options are. You can play it or you can pass it. What would you like?
Once again, Bob, I'm going to pass to Frank.
Okay. Frank, if you play him out, you win the game, and we'll play a tiebreaker. If you goof, Susan becomes our champion.
Sure,
Playing
Bob,
off
sure.
the 5, here we go.
Higher than the 3.
Excuse me, playing off the 3. Higher than the 3, you say. It is a 4.
Higher than the 4.
Higher than the 4. 6.
Higher than the 6.
Higher than the 6. Queen.
Lower than the queen.
Lower than the queen to tie up the match. Yes! He played him out.
Woo! God, thank you.
The odds were against
Thank
you.
you.
You beat the odds. You win the second game. First player to win 2 games, which means we must play our tiebreaker game, and we will do that when we come back in just a moment from now.
If you're like the average American household, you've got almost $8,000 in credit card debt. Did you know that at a
games to win the championship, so we play a tiebreaker game to decide who the champion will be. In the tiebreaker game, we only have 3 cards with a maximum of 3 high-low questions. Susanna's dealing those cards right now, and let's get going with this very important game. Frank, we surveyed 100 people, and we asked them, if you knew the world was going to end tomorrow, would you spend a quiet evening at home rather than paint the town red? How many people said yes, they would rather spend a quiet evening at home? A great question. I love that.
Great. That is a great question. And I tell you, I'm not going to stay home. I'm going out.
You are.
Yeah, I'm having.
I didn't have any doubt.
I'm having a good time. If I'm going out in style. The question is, how many would say they would stay at home? Very few. I'm going to say about, about 30.
30 out of 100 would spend a quiet evening at home. What do you think, Susan?
I think that's going to be a little higher of a number. I think more people are going to want to spend home with the family.
I do too. To reflect on your life and the things that you've done and you haven't done and all of that. He's going to go out and get drunk. I know what he's going to do. Actual number of people who would rather spend a quiet evening at home is 58. You're right, Susan. It was higher. Now, tiebreaker game, only 3 cards, and here is your first card, Susan. Jack.
Good card. Let's go lower.
Lower than the jack. It is a king. Nope. Frank, you get to play. Must play off this card. Ace.
Lower than the ace.
Lower than the ace. 5.
Higher than the 5.
For the championship, if it's higher than the 5, no. It is not higher than the 5. So again, we're all tied up. And we'll go to a next question in this tiebreaker game. Susan, we surveyed 100 top business executives, and we asked them, if you found out that one of your best employees had lied about his experience on his job application, would you fire him? How many top business executives said they would fire him?
Well, I work in the business world, and that's a very difficult question because I think it happens. I think that people are going to have to look at the fact that this person has proven themselves, though, and I don't think the number is going to be that high as a result. I say it's going to be a medium number. Let's go with 52.
52. Let's see what Frank says.
Well, I think it's going to be just a little lower. I don't think many of them are. If it's a good employee, the person's working well for you.
One of the best employees.
Yeah,
sure.
one of the best employees. I mean, to be lower, yes.
I agree with you. The actual number of top executives who would fire an employee who had lied on his job application is 41. It was lower, Frank. All right, lucky as you are, my friend, you've got the ace to play.
I'm going to go lower than the ace.
Lower than the ace. It is a jack.
I'm going to go lower than the jack.
This is for the championship. If it's lower than the jack, it is. And there you are. Whoa!
Oh!
Susan, you end up with $100. We have some nice prizes for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob.
Good luck
Bye-bye.
to you. All right, Frank, over here again. Boy, I hope you have better luck this time than you had last time. If you weren't with us last time, when he won the championship, went over to play the big money cards, and one of the few times in our show hit the big 0. Now you know you have a chance to win as much as $32,000 over there. Okay. Lacey and Susanna are coming in. They have a brand new deck of cards that you cut before we went on the air, and here's how we play our game. The money you won so far is yours to keep now. Start you with new money, $200 to bet with. You bet your way across the bottom row by calling off high and low. When you get to the next row, we give you another $400. Again, you bet your way across the line. Remember, minimum bets are $50 each time. Until you get up to the top row, at that time, you must bet at least half of your dollars. And you'll also have a chance to change 1 card per line by choosing one of the spare cards that Lacey's dealing out. Good luck to you, my friend.
Thank you.
Give him $200, please. Let's see if you can't turn that $200 into lots of money. Here's your first card, Frank. It is a jack.
It's a good card. Good card. I'm going to say $100 lower than the jack.
$100 lower.
Yes.
If another jack comes up, it's a push. No win, no loss.
Okay.
The big money cards. $100 lower than the jack. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to say...
300.
I'm going to say 150, higher than the 5.
150, higher than the 5. Your card's an 8. Now you got
let me
450.
change that card.
Sure, which one
Number
you want?
Number 2, please.
Number 2, all right. The 8 now becomes a deuce. How
Good
about that?
card. All of it. Higher.
Of course, for $900, it is higher. Now you got 900. Up here, we give you another 400, gives you 1,300, and the ace is your base.
All of it.
All of it what?
Lower.
All of it lower than the ace. Yes. $2,600.
$1,000 lower than the jack.
$1,000 lower than the jack. Your card's a 10. 3,600. Change the 10. Which one do you like? Number 1. The 10 now becomes a 3.
Good card. $1,300 higher.
$1,300 higher than the 3. It's a 4. Woo-hoo, just barely. And the 4 comes up here. You have $4,900. You must bet at least $2,450.
Half of it higher than the 4.
He's betting $2,450 that it's higher than the 4. Is it higher? Yes! Yes! $7,350. Way to go. All right. Don't hurt me, I bruised.
No, I won't do that.
Okay. Our champ wins over $7,000. That brings you to $7,750 total. We'll meet a new challenger for him when we come back right after this. $7,750. Time to meet a new challenger, and let's have Tracy come in here.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Bob?
Tell us about
My name's
yourself,
Tracy Gallagher, and I'm a student at UCLA, and right now I should be sitting for finals. We have one finals this week, but I'd much rather be here.
Well, we'd much rather have you here. What are you majoring in?
Well, I have a business emphasis right now, and I'm trying to get into the communications major, which you have to have a GPA, which is up here, but I'm here now, and I'm not studying, so I'm hoping that I get real lucky.
Well, why don't you win a whole lot of money?
That
That's what
sounds
you need
even
to do.
better.
You know how to play this game. You cut the cards. Susanna's dealing out the cards from that deck you cut, and we're going to start this match between the two of you. First question will go to our champ. Frank, we surveyed 100 women. We asked them, have you ever returned a dress to a store even though you had already worn it? How many women admitted that they have returned a dress that they had worn?
Bob, I've returned things I've worn. I'm sure.
Yeah, but you're a stripper.
I need a constant change of clothes, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to say it's a fairly high number. That's done quite often. You go
How
out.
many do you think out of 100?
I'm going to say about. I'm not going to go too high. 60.
About 60. Tracy, when I asked this question, you started to laugh. I get the feeling you've done this.
Well, I used to work at Nordstrom.
Uh-huh.
So ladies would turn in dress that smelled like cigarettes so
No
badly.
kidding.
But, you know, I don't think ladies would want to admit that's kind of embarrassing, so I'm going to go a little bit lower.
A little bit lower than 60? The actual number of women who have returned a dress they had worn is 25. You're right, Tracy. It was lower. Have you ever done that, Susanna? Have you ever worn a dress and then returned it?
Yes, I have.
You have?
Yes, I have.
Gosh.
I just didn't like it the second time I wore it. So.
I see. I did it to a bathing suit. No, I'm only teasing. Okay, Tracy. This is it. It's a jack.
Lower.
Lower than the
Lower.
jack. Your card is a 6.
Freeze.
Freeze on the 6. She's going to start off very conservative.
Very
Probably smart, though. Keeps Frank away from the cards. We'll pause for these words. We'll be right back with more Card Sharks in just a moment. I'm Bob. She's Susanna. She's Lacey. He's Gene, and we got to go. Bye-bye.
A travel